Let's go to our guest standing by. Analyst Michael Geoghegan is joining us from Victoria. Michael, always good to have you on. What do you make about this being referenced to the RCMP now?
Well, we have a situation where a law was passed, I think in the late 90s, by an NDP government that said it was verboten, basically, for lobbyists to buy tickets on behalf of their clients, get the tax credit, and then get reimbursed from their clients. So what's come to light is that this law has not been well known, and that a lot of government relations consultant, and full disclosure, I also work as a lobbyist, have run afoul of this particular bit of legislation.
What does it mean, do you think, for Christy Clark and the Liberals? I mean, they have been in power for a long, long time, as you know, in British Columbia.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think it comes obviously at an inopportune time where we're literally heading into a provincial election, so the timing could not be much worse. But on the other hand, I think as the RCMP tuck into this issue, they're going to find that there was fundraisers both on the Liberal side and on the NDP side where things were done in that manner. And I can kind of understand it happening in the sense that you buy tickets to a function, you buy a table of tickets, and then you bill your clients. So I think it was a situation where I suspect some of my colleagues were not aware of the law and ran afoul of it inadvertently.
So, it gets a little bit murky here, but what is the buzz in Victoria, in the Lower Mainland as well, over this story?
Well, I think it's a couple of things. First of all, I think it points to a general problem in that the laws around and the regulations around political donations in BC are perhaps amongst the loosest in Canada now. They've certainly tightened things up federally and in many provincial jurisdictions. There have been a lot of calls in BC to follow the example of other jurisdictions and ban both corporate and union advertising. So there is a sense that British Columbia is still a bit of a Wild West in terms of how we do politics out here. And there's a sense that, it's time for British Columbia to be a little more, conservative in a sense, and have the same kind of, checks and balances that they do in other provinces and federally.
So we're now less than 2 months away. May the 9th is the voting day in the province. You've got some experience with the RCMP on this issue. Can you elaborate?
Well, yeah. Shortly after the law was passed, I purchased tickets for a First Nations client. And anyways, ended up having a discussion with a reporter from a newspaper. In any event, turns out, yeah, that's how I was made aware of it. But I mean, like I say, I was made aware of this a dozen and a half years ago. And I had a phone call with the RCMP, and he said, yeah, well, I'm dealing with multi-million-dollar fraud investigations. And I was very upfront about what had happened. And he said, well, I'll let you go with a warning. So since then, I've been very careful to make sure that, when we're buying tickets to an event, that my clients are paying for the political events directly. And it's an advantage to my clients because they then get the tax credit themselves rather than me. So, it's one of those things where I thought everyone kind of knew this situation, but obviously not.
Great to talk to you, Michael. No doubt we'll have an opportunity to talk to you in the next couple of weeks ahead of the election.
Yes, looking forward to it.
Michael Geoghegan in Victoria.